The way you wake up is the way you live your day. This is not a metaphor. It is a reality that shapes the direction of your life. If you open your eyes and the first thing you feel is heaviness, hesitation, and the thought of pressing the snooze button, then you have already handed away control before your day has even begun. That small choice may feel insignificant, but it reflects the pattern of your mind. Each morning, when the alarm rings, you are standing at a crossroads. One road leads to discipline, the other to delay. When you choose delay, the entire rhythm of your day slows down. You move with resistance, you avoid challenges, and you waste energy fighting battles that were created by the decision to resist waking up. But when you choose discipline, when you rise without hesitation, you create momentum. That momentum stays with you, carrying you through tasks, helping you face challenges with clarity, and giving you a sense of victory before the world even has a chance to test you. Most people believe that what matters is what they do later in the day. But the truth is that the tone is already set in the first minutes of the morning. Your mind is fragile, open, and impressionable at that time. If you begin by checking notifications, scrolling through distractions, or allowing stress to creep in before you have centered yourself, then you are feeding your mind with noise instead of strength. You let the outside world dictate your state. On the other hand, if you begin with stillness, intention, conscious control of your first actions, then you have claimed your space before the world intrudes. That is why the morning is sacred. It is the moment when you decide if you are going to live the day as a master of yourself or as a servant too. Distractions. The simple act of rising with awareness is already training the mind. It says to yourself, I decide how I move, not my impulses. This decision is powerful because it is not about one morning. It is about training consistency. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you let laziness win in, the morning laziness will appear again when challenges come in the afternoon. If you practice strength in the morning, strength will be there when the pressure rises later. This is why successful individuals protect their mornings with discipline. They know that what begins in clarity ends in clarity. Think about the days when you woke up energized and focused. How different did they feel compared to the days when you delayed, when you resisted, when you let heaviness guide you? One path gives you control, the other steals it. And the decision is always in your hands, made within the very first few minutes of waking. So understand this truth deeply. The morning is not just the start of your day, it is the mirror of how you will live your life. If you want mastery, begin with mastery the moment you open your eyes. The reason only 1% wake up with total control is because they understand the sacred power of the first decision in the morning. This decision is not about comfort, it is about identity. Each time you wake up, you are reaffirming who you are and what you value. Most people unconsciously choose to value comfort, which is why they remain stuck in cycles of procrastination, lack of direction, and wasted potential. But the 1% who rise immediately with intention and presence are training their subconscious mind to value discipline above comfort, growth above stagnation, and progress above excuses. It is not that they are more motivated, more gifted, or more privileged than others. It is simply that they understand the weight of their first actions. They know that the way you begin determines the way you continue. When you wake up and your first instinct is to push away responsibility, to cling to the warmth of your bed, you are teaching your mind to avoid. Avoidance becomes the pattern of your life, and slowly, without realizing, your dreams are postponed, your opportunities are missed, and your energy is drained. Laziness is not born in the afternoon. It is born in those very first few moments when you choose comfort over discipline. And once that seed is planted, it grows throughout the day. But when you wake up and immediately choose movement, stillness of mind and conscious breathing, you plant the seed of control. That seed grows into focus, into clarity, into a quiet confidence that accompanies you in every task, every conversation, and every challenge. This is why people who have mastered the art of their mornings appear unshaken by the storms of life. It is not because their days are easier, or because the world favors them. It is because they have already conquered themselves before stepping into the world. The outside world cannot take control away from someone who has already claimed it. Internally, their strength is invisible but unshakable because it comes from self-command, not from external validation. If you look at history, at warriors, monks, leaders, or creators who achieved greatness, you will see a common thread. Their mornings were rituals, not accidents. They woke with purpose. They began the day not by reacting, but by creating. This is what separates the 1% from the 99%. Not talent, not luck, but the ability to treat the morning as sacred training ground. Imagine this. Every morning you are given a weapon or a weakness. The choice is yours. If you wake unconsciously, you hand yourself a weakness before the day has even begun. But if you rise with clarity, you arm yourself with a weapon: discipline, focus, and strength. And the day ahead cannot defeat someone who has already prepared in this way. This is why the morning is the hidden secret, the invisible training that gives the 1% their edge. They do not worry about controlling the world. They control themselves. And in doing so, they set a foundation unshakable by any storm. The true secret of the 1% is not that they wake up earlier than everyone else. It is that they wake up with intention. Most people believe waking up early alone is the magic key to success. They think setting the alarm at 5 a.m. will change their lives. But waking up early without purpose is just another form of exhaustion, another habit done without meaning. The real transformation happens when you rise and immediately align your mind, body, and spirit toward clarity. It is not the clock that determines success. It is the consciousness you bring into that first hour. When the majority wake up, they let the world dictate their direction. They open their phones, they scroll, they react. They consume the noise of other people's lives before they have even taken a breath for their own. This is the silent trap. Because once your first moments are filled with distraction, your mind has already been scattered, and the day begins on someone else's terms, not yours. The 1% do something radically different. They begin by listening to themselves, by centering their breath, by calming the restless mind, and by creating space before action. They understand that if you don't command your own mind in the morning, it will be commanded by the endless demands of the outside world. Intention is not something vague or mystically is the decision to give meaning to what you do. For some, it may be sitting in silence for 5 minutes and feeling gratitude for being alive. For others, it may be moving the body, stretching, training, waking the physical form to remind the mind that they are strong. For others still, it may be writing down one sentence that defines their focus for the day. These are not rituals of superstition. They are rituals of alignment. Each action whispers to the subconscious, I am in command. I am awake. One choose. The direction? That is why the morning is not a casual beginning. It is a declaration of who you are becoming. If you allow the first light of the day to find you lost, distracted, or lazy, then your entire day will carry that shadow. But if you let the first light find you awake, still, and powerful, then the rest of the day bends to that strength. The 1% treat the morning as if it is a mirror. Whatever they place into it reflects back into the next 12 hours. Most people throw chaos into that mirror, and chaos returns. But those who rise with clarity place discipline into it, and discipline follows them until the night. This is why intention is everything. It is not about being faster, richer, or more talented. It is about beginning with alignment so the rest of the day cannot shake you. The morning is the foundation, and when the foundation is built with purpose, the storms of life can come and go, but the house will stand unbroken. The morning secret of the 1% is not only found in intention, but in their ability to protect their energy from the very beginning of the day. Most people lose themselves before they even step outside their door, and they don't even notice it happening. The moment they wake up, they hand over their energy to the world. They pick up their phone, they read messages, they check the news, they dive into work emails, and before they have even brushed their teeth, their energy has been fragmented into 1,000 directions. It's like pouring water into a dozen leaking cups. There is nothing left to drink for yourself. This is why so many feel tired, anxious, or overwhelmed before the day has even begun. The 1% do not allow this. They protect their mornings as sacred ground, as if they are guarding the gates of a temple. Why? Because they understand that energy is currency. If you spend it carelessly in the first hour of the day, then the rest of the day will be spent in debt, always chasing clarity, never feeling fully grounded. Protecting energy means creating boundaries that others may not understand. It may mean not answering calls in the morning, not scrolling endlessly, not giving attention to noise. This is not selfishness. It is discipline. It is the awareness that if you don't control your energy, someone else will. And when someone else holds your energy, they control your thoughts, your emotions, and your focus. The morning then becomes the battlefield where you either lose or win the fight for your mind. Imagine your inner energy like a flame. If you guard it, nurture it, and allow it to grow steadily, it will light your entire day. But if you expose it too early to the winds of distraction, it will flicker, weaken, and disappear. The 1% know that their energy is sacred. They choose carefully what enters their mind and heart in the first hour because they know it will echo across every hour that follows. This is why rituals are important. A ritual is not about tradition, it's about direction. Some sit in meditation. Some breathe deeply. Some read a page of wisdom. Some train the body until sweat washes away laziness. All of these rituals serve one purpose: to strengthen the flame before stepping into the world. Because once you leave the silence of the morning and enter the noise of life, the world will test your energy. Negative people will pull at it, unexpected. Problems will challenge it, and distractions will compete for it. Without preparation, you will collapse under these pressures. With preparation, you will move through them with strength. The true secret is not waking up early, nor working harder than everyone else. The secret is guarding your energy with fierce discipline, so that no matter what storms arrive, you remain steady. The morning is not just the beginning of the day, it is the shield you build to carry into battle. And if you enter the world without your shield, then the world will break you. But if you carry it with strength, then nothing outside can take away the power you built within. The 1% live differently, not because they have more opportunities than others, but because they choose differently in the moments that matter most. One of those crucial choices happens in the early hours of the day, the choice between reactivity and creation. Most people wake up and immediately react. They react to notifications. They react to problems. They react to what the world demands of them. In this reactive state, the day no longer belongs to them. They are dragged by it, pushed and pulled by forces they cannot control. But the 1% do not give away their mornings to reaction. They choose creation. Creation means that instead of asking, "What does the world want from me today?" you ask, "What do I want to give to the world today?" That shift changes everything. Instead of being tossed around by circumstances, you step into the role of the author of your day. You write the script before the world tries to write it for you. This doesn't mean that challenges will not come, but when they do, you will meet them as someone prepared, not as someone lost. To create instead of react requires clarity. That is why the morning is the best time to set intentions. When the mind is fresh and free from the clutter of the day, it can focus sharply on what matters most. The 1% don't leave this to chance. They direct their thoughts with precision. They decide how they want to feel, what they want to achieve, and who they want to be, long before external circumstances have a chance to interfere. This is the true morning secret, claiming authorship over your own state of being. Think of it like building a fortress. If you do not lay the stones yourself, then others will come and build on your land with materials you do not want. Every distraction, every piece of bad news, every negative conversation becomes a stone in a fortress you didn't choose to build. Soon you find yourself trapped in walls you didn't design. But if you rise in the morning and deliberately place each stone, one of focus, one of gratitude, one of discipline, you create a structure that supports you rather than confines you. This is why the 1% live with a sense of flow even in the middle of chaos. It is not because their lives are easier, but because their mornings have already shaped the rhythm of the day. They don't stumble into hours hoping for balance. They set the balance at the very start, while others are consumed by small fires. Throughout the day, they walk through with calmness because their foundation was already laid. The truth is, every person has the same opportunity. The difference is not in time, but in discipline. The difference is not in luck, but in awareness. The 1% are not waiting for the future to shape them. They are shaping the future with the small but powerful choices made each morning. This is why only a few wake up with total control, while the majority drift without direction. The true mastery of the morning lies in ownership of your mind, your body, and your energy before the world has a chance to take them away from you. The 1% understand that if you do not claim your inner world at the start of the day, everything external will rush in to claim it for you. That is why their mornings are sacred, guarded like a temple. They treat the first hour of the day not as an accident, but as a ritual, a conscious choice to step into clarity and strength before stepping into the noise of the world. When you wake up and immediately hand your attention to a screen, to a message, or to worries about the future, you have already lost. Your mind becomes scattered, your energy leaks, and your direction fades. This is how most people begin their days already, weakened before the challenges of life have even appeared. But when you begin your morning with discipline and intention, you rise with power that is not borrowed from the world, but generated from within. This is why the 1% appear untouchable, unshaken by distractions, unbroken by setbacks. They have already fortified themselves before stepping outside. To own your morning, you must understand that it is not about perfection, but about presence. The 1% do not waste time trying to control everything outside of them. They begin by controlling the one thing they can't themselves. Breath by breath, movement by movement, thought by thought, they carve the shape of the person they wish to be that day. Some choose silence and meditation. Others choose movement and sweat, and some choose to write their thoughts and intentions. The method may vary, but the essence is the same. They claim their state of being before the world has a chance to impose one on them. When this practice becomes consistent, something extraordinary happens. The mornings stop being a struggle and start becoming a source of power. What once felt like effort becomes a natural rhythm. And with that rhythm comes freedom. Freedom from reactivity. Freedom from fear. Freedom from the chaos that consumes so many. You begin to live as though you are already ahead, because you are the world is still waking up, but you have already centered yourself, already gained clarity, already chosen your path. This is why only 1% wake up like this. Not because it is impossible for others, but because few are willing to claim the discipline it requires. Laziness whispers to stay in bed. Distraction calls from your phone. Comfort tells you there is always tomorrow. and most listen. Few who rise despite the whispers, who choose intention over reaction, who honor their mornings with discipline, those are the ones who walk through life with control, focus, and unshakable presence. The morning does not just shape the day. The morning shapes you. And when you are shaped with strength, clarity, and intention from the very first moment, no chaos, no distraction, and no obstacle can take that control away. This is the hidden secret of the 1%. They don't wait for control. They create it before the world awakens. When you look closely at the way only 1% wake up, realize it is not about luck, nor about secret knowledge hidden from the rest of the world. It is about choices, small but powerful choices made in the very first moments of the day. The secret is not in waiting for inspiration to strike, but in creating a system of discipline that fuels clarity, strength, and presence. The 1% are not superhuman. They simply refuse to hand over their mornings to chaos. They choose to design their mornings with purpose, and in doing so, they design their lives. Every keynote we explored leads to this simple truth. Your morning is the foundation on which the rest of your day is built. If the foundation is weak, the day collapses under pressure. If the foundation is strong, you can stand tall, no matter how heavy the challenges become. You have seen that focus, energy, mental clarity, and unshakable intention all begin before the world wakes up. And when you master this, you no longer live as a passenger of your life. You become its driver. The reason so many people feel stuck, drained, or lost is not because they lack ability, but because they have never claimed control over the first part of their day. They let laziness decide. They let distractions dictate. They let external noise fill their minds before they have even spoken a single word to themselves. And so they lose the day before it even begins. But you are not bound to repeat that cycle. The 1% have shown us what is possible, but it is not their secret to keep. It is yours to take. The strength you admire in others can be the strength you live within yourself. The clarity you see in them can become the clarity that carries you. The power you believe belongs to a few can be claimed by you if you begin now, so tomorrow, when the alarm rings. Remember this moment. Remember the choice that lies before you, to rise into clarity or to fall into chaos, to own your morning, or to let it own you, to be among the many who drift or the few who lead. The morning is not simply the start of your day, it is the doorway to who you are becoming. Step through that doorway with presence, with strength, and with discipline. Because once you learn to rise like the 1%, once you take control of your morning, nothing will be out of your control again. This is the morning secret. This is the way to total control. And it begins with you, here, now, in the silence of the first breath of the day.